If you are leaving these out of your website builds, then you are doing your clients a disservice. If you're not already doing links pages for your clients, then you need to start. And you're actually doing yourself a disservice as well, because you are not practicing your website design to the best practices. You would not believe the amount of websites that I land on that you hit 404 and it just says, oops, there seems to be a problem. That's right. Today we are going to be talking about links pages and 404 pages. Hi, I'm Christie. I am the host of this podcast, Websites Made Simple. I am a website designer. I'm the founder of Simply Sites, and I am a website mentor who is going to use this episode to teach you one of the most missed tricks in website design. You ready? Let's go. Back in the day, everyone was using Linktree. And a few people today are still using Linktree because it's very easy to use, it's very simple, everybody knows it. What people don't know about it is that search engines actually penalise people for using it. And by search engines, I'm talking about the social media ones, like the Meta-owned ones, the Instagrams, TikTok, Facebook, that sort of thing. And if you are building websites for yourself, for your clients, and you are not putting in a page of how people can work with you or where they can get those very quick links to you, then you are literally leaving those customers outside the door and they will go and find someone else who does. Now, the benefits to having your own website links building page is, of course, that it's yours and you're getting people onto your website and you're doing it through one link. You're not saying to them, choose between this link, choose between there. You can come here or you can go there. You're saying, click here. This is where it starts. And you can put whatever you want in that links page. You can make it kind of much more your own thing than if you're trying to customize some other template. I would say, because usually people are hitting those pages from their mobiles, do try and keep it quite simple in the design, but you can also make it quite effective. So with links pages, I send people to them, to the information I want them to see first. And that might be my services, how they can work with me, or instead of sending them to a generalized service page, I might want to be promoting one thing above the others, and then I will put that button at the top of the page, this is the one I want you to be clicking. I also have other things that I might want them to get in touch, and I can say, drop me a quick email here, or drop me a voice note there, or whatever it is I'm using that page for. I also use it as an opportunity to pull through dynamic data, like read my latest blog or listen to my latest podcast episode. Trust me, links pages can be anything you want them to be. But it is really important that they do exist within your website in the first place. And most people don't. Most people don't even think of it. And you can make the link really short as well. Back in the day where people would say on Instagram, for example, it would say link in bio, and then we would create a page that was link -in -bio. We don't even need to do that anymore. We can just have the domain /bio or /links or whatever it is you want it to be. But do make sure that it's there, that it's really easy for people, and make sure your clients know that they're going to get this as well, because they often won't know or they won't consider it. But it is a massive kind of value add to the website, because every business is using social media as part of their marketing strategy. So to be able to kind of tie up all of those ends and have everything in their website in the one place is a real bonus for them. And as you say, we're sending people directly to their own website. So we're working with the SEO, we're working with all the good things that we want there, bringing traffic there. So you do want it to be on their website. And these are valuable pages. So do make sure that you're charging extra for them. But what I would advise in this case is that clients, if they are looking to work within a budget, this will pretty much be the first thing that they say, oh no, don't worry about that. I can go and get that from Linktree. And they don't realise that they'll be cutting their reach and all the bad things is going to be coming from that as opposed to having it on their own website. And so you don't really want it as an upsell. You want to build that page into the cost of the website that you're building for them. And you have it as a value add on the website. So you don't make it optional for them. You say to them, the website cost is X amount of pages. This is the project cost because there's the setup fees, there's the pack down and transferring fees, and there's those additional pages that we're doing, like search pages, 404 pages, linked pages, and it's part of it. And so what they realise is, yes, they might be paying more than they would be paying another website designer, but they're getting a much bigger, meatier package from it as well. So if you're not already doing links pages for your clients, then you need to start. The next thing that I recommend that you do is, if you're a website designer or developer who's looking to strengthen your community, get expert advice, and not have it take up all your time, I've got the solution for you. My Sparks program is a weekly group mentoring call for people working directly in the web design space, where you'll get advice, support, and collaborate with other designers. We meet each week for an hour, and you'll come away with reassurance, knowledge, and the next steps for your business. Check out the Sparks group mentoring at websitesmadesimple.co.uk. The next thing that I recommend that you do is a personalised 404 pages. And you would not believe the amount of websites that I land on that you hit 404 and it just says, oops, there seems to be a problem. And you just have a really generic theme that just gives you the menu that just says, go here, here, or here. There's nothing personalised. There's nothing that really directs people anywhere. And they're a pretty frustrating experience to land on those pages. Now, I know that all web designers are at different stages of their learning and their training and things like that. So if you don't know how to find out whether the 404 page is personalised or not on the website, just go to the website domain /404 and you'll be able to see it there and then. I really like doing 404 pages. First of all, they're very quick because they don't have a lot of information. They're not an index page, so we're not looking to get it exactly right. What we're looking to do is get the website visitor back on track. So they've usually landed on a 404 page because they've clicked on a link that no longer exists. It could be a backlink that's come from another website. It could be that you were running a promotion and then you took down that promotion and then you forgot to put a redirect on the domain, on the URL. It could be anything like that, but people land on them all of the time. And it's, as I say, it's frustrating to land in the wrong place. Especially if you then go back, you click the link again, or you mistype it or something like that, and then you land back on the 404 page. So this is a great place to put a bit of personality in there. I know some people who put some really funny GIFs in there, and I want to say GIFs, but there's always this thing on LinkedIn where it's like, are you a GIF person or a GIF person? And I think after 20 years, we're going with GIF, sadly. But they use that on there. There are people who might put a really funny photo, so they might have all of their website imagery is the kind of more staid, more professional imagery. And they might use that 404 page to just have something a little bit fun on there. I like to sometimes use Lottie files. Like if I sell a product on my website, I have a Lottie file that does exploding confetti and it's like, woohoo, you're here. And you can get some files to have some fun around on there as well. And it's an absolute opportunity. Just have a little bit of fun with that page as well. And then you obviously just want some text like, I'm sorry, I can't find what you're looking for. It could be you've mistyped the URL, or it could be this, that, the other. I sometimes like using the text, well, this is embarrassing. And it's just a fun way of engaging a person who may be feeling a little bit frustrated. And just like with the links page, you can use the 404 page to try and redirect someone back to where they should be or where you want them to be on your website. You could use dynamic content like read my latest blog. You could take them back to the service page. You can have find out a little bit more about me or come and find one of my courses. You'd be surprised how many people will click through from one of those if you do make it engaging enough. And as I say, it doesn't have to be the world's best designed page. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, but it is a really good one to showcase your expertise. I have a video that I created probably 4 years ago now that I still rerun on my LinkedIn profile. that it's called 404 Pages Explained, and it just shows all different versions of 404 Pages that I've created, and it has a voiceover. It was long before I did this podcast or started working with my brilliant podcast producer, so the voiceover isn't great, but it's there. We all learn, right? And it explains it in a really kind of meaningful way because it shows all different examples, and it always gets a lot of engagement. And it's the first thing I get. A lot of my clients will come through and say, I really love my 404 page. And again, it just feels like that value add on your website. So when you can show people this, show what they're getting, you are immediately putting yourself up and above those other website designers who aren't putting that amount of attention to detail in there, who aren't including this in the builds. And the very first place you can start with this is your own website. So do go to your own website, check your domain /404, check your 404 page. Is it customized? Does it need updating? What does it look like? And then if you don't have a links page already, do create one with your top offers, your top services, your events, anything like that on there. And do get used to using it. Do get used to dropping it in places. Have it in your LinkedIn profile and see whether it makes a difference to what people are clicking on around your website. So that's everything from me today. I would love to hear your stories, and I really do love hearing from each and every one of you, whether you contact me on LinkedIn, whether you leave a comment on the podcast. I've had a couple of people commenting on Spotify. I really do want to hear from you. So let me know what you think about 404 pages, about LinkedIn, about links pages, whether this is something that you already do, whether it's something you hadn't even thought of, not everyone does, and whether it's something you are going to continue to do or start to do. And if you have any funny stories about it, I definitely want to hear those. So you can find me at hello@websitesmadesimple.co.uk, or you can find me on LinkedIn at Holly C. Christie.